Morning Disciple Church, good to see you this morning. I hope you had a great time with your family. Just yesterday, sitting down together, worshiping the Lord, singing the songs, hearing the message. And I'm bringing another quiet time from Book of Romans. My prayer in my heart is that what Book of Romans did for these great men in the past will do for you and do for me and transform us to be more like Jesus Christ. Let me share with you another person today. On the evening of May 24th, 1738, an unwilling and reluctant pastor, Anglican pastor, went to a meeting of Moravian refugees in London. He had graduated from Oxford University, and while he was attending as a student, he was part of a Christian society called the Holy Club. He even went on missions. He came to America to convert and to share the gospel with the American Indians. But when he came back from America, he said, I went to America to convert Indians, but who will convert me? Who will change me? Because in his heart he always doubted, am I a believer? Am I saved? Am I secure in my salvation? Has the gospel gripped my heart? Well, that question will be answered that night when he went to that meeting. During that meeting, one of the readers stood up and grabbed a book, a commentary, a book of Romans written by Martin Luther. Martin Luther we talked about the other day. And as the reader was reading the preface to the book of Romans commentary, something strange happened in the pastor's heart. And he writes this in his journal. He writes, about 9:15, while the reader was describing the change wherein God works in the heart through faith in Jesus Christ, I felt my heart strangely warmed. I felt I did trust in Christ, Christ alone for salvation. And an assurance was given that he had taken my sins, even mine, and saved me from the law of sin and death. And some of you probably guessed it already. The pastor's name was John Wesley. Later on, he was forced out of Anglican church because of his passion to share the gospel with everyone in the world. Everyone in the world. He became a great open-air preacher and transformed England in the 18th century. It is estimated that John Wesley preached more than 40,000 sermons about the beauty and the wonder of the gospel, sermons about need of humanity to come to Christ and be forgiven and be saved in a relationship with God. Over 40,000 sermons because of that one night. The book of Romans impacted his heart. In fact, he traveled over 250,000 miles, not in his car, not in a train, not in a plane, but on horseback. Nothing could stop his fire to share the gospel because of that one night when the book of Romans took a hold of his heart. John Wesley loved writing hymns. He loved hymns. And in one of his hymns, I think it sums up his heart and what the gospel had done to him. In that hymn, he writes, no condemnation now I dread. Alive in him, my living head. And clothed in righteousness divine, bold I approach the eternal throne and claim the crown through Christ my own. There's no telling what will happen when we grab the Word of God and start reading it, but more importantly, not only read it, but allow it to read us. I want to read to you a verse from the book of Romans chapter 1, verse 16. I believe it is this message that totally transformed John Wesley, and it is the reason why he traveled over 250,000 miles on a horseback. Romans chapter 1, verse 16 says, for I am not ashamed of the gospel. It is the power of God for salvation to everyone who has faith, to the Jews first, and also to the Greek, or the Gentiles. The power of God is in the gospel. And John Wesley went all over the known place that he could go, 250,000 miles, 40,000 sermons, because he wanted to reveal the power of God to those around him. My friends in the Lord, you are at home with your family. Maybe some of you need to go to work because you're a nurse and doctors, and we're so grateful for you guys and really encouraging you. 8 o'clock, I'm clapping. I believe that was the hour. But while we're going about our life, as changed as it has, as much as it has changed, may we remember the gospel. When you're at your workplace, may you remember the beauty of Jesus Christ. When you're with your family, may you remember who Christ is and the power of salvation that transformed you. And if there's anyone around you who doesn't know Jesus, perhaps today you can show Jesus to them through your kindness, through your love, through your forgiveness, through your caring. And remember yesterday's message, through those main points I shared, through forgiving, through celebrating. And may you have a wonderful day today. May the hand of God be over you. May His face shine upon you. May the goodness of God protect you. And I'll see you tomorrow. I want to share one more person who was transformed by the book of Romans and then move on from there. God bless you. I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye-bye.